Hey guys, welcome back. Just a quick one today to talk about my journey into switching all the way from Mac and before that Windows to using Linux full time for my home PC. Now, I stress this, my home PC, right? I use Linux all throughout my house. I don't really rely on Windows anymore. And that's probably becoming more and more important with, data collection, privacy, all those good things. And I'm really happy I made the switch some time ago. I just wanted to go through and tell you, like, kind of how I've adjusted, what I've had to give up, those things like that. Now, have I 100% given up Mac? Yes. Have I 100% given up Windows? Not exactly. There's sometimes when I need to do something and there's a very specific piece of software that only runs on Windows, and I'll either have to set up a VM, run it, get it done, or use a really old PC, which I have several of, to just pop a drive in, get it done, pop it back out so it doesn't run on my network constantly. Just to be transparent and clear, there are still some things. And let me give you some examples of what that software is. There are some software that only exists, say, in hacking video game consoles, that only exist in Windows, and you'll need Windows for that. If you're going to do that. If you don't do that, you probably won't need it, but your needs will vary, right? Everybody can say, oh, just switch. There's going to be times that you might need it, depending on what your needs are. But if I can limit it so much and then leave it to only running temporarily on my network, then my exposure is very limited. To get into a little bit of the specifics on how I run it and what I've had to give up. So let's get into it. This is mostly what I do. 3D printing, general office, web browsing, a little bit of music production, not a lot, but a little bit. Photo editing, video editing, kind of your general PC tasks, I'll call it. Linux is really complicated for people, right? When you install something, it ends up not working down the road, you have no idea how to go in and troubleshoot it, uninstall it even, and move on. So now, these days, there are ways around that, to be honest, and that's what I'm sharing here on my screen. And these are called app images. So like Bamboo Studio for 3D printing, I have a Bamboo printer right back there. I can go in here and I can have these different kind of app images, which are really, I would describe them as containers that have the application and all the dependencies kind of in one thing. So you don't have to go through and clean up libraries and other things. When your application fails, you just delete the app image, download a new one, all that good stuff. And all you really have to do to make these work, if they don't come this way already, is you just bring up your properties of it, your permissions, and make sure it's set to execute. Let me find that in here real quick. Right here. Execute. Allow executing file as a program. And then when you start it up, it actually starts your program and you go from there. So I try to keep as many things as possible in app images for that reason, because I don't want to be a system administrator constantly. Well, I enjoy that stuff at times and figuring out problems. Sometimes I just need to use it, right? Where, like in video editing, to get out a YouTube video, sometimes I just need my editor to work. And that's the other point, is like all these software that are substitutions, like Blender. You can do a lot of 3D design in Blender, right? Where I can't run Fusion 360 from here because it requires a Windows component to run on your PC, probably to spy on you, but who knows, right? And Caden Live, that's my video editor, right? DaVinci Resolve is another one. I don't have the app image for that. I need to go search for that. Music production, LMMS. So I have a lot of these app images that I use for some of my more critical tasks, I'll call it, right? Where I don't really have time to be a sysadmin and tweak things, fix permissions, fix libraries when I just need to get things done. So that's one way I do. One thing I do to get around some of these things, right? So Anyway, guys, I'm in this journey now for at least 3 years. You can go back and look at my videos when I originally switched from Mac over to Linux. And I'm really glad I did it, especially now in the age of expensive tech, AI age, where these large companies are buying up hardware and it drives up the price of all the other hardware. With Linux, I can run on a little bit older hardware and still survive and still get things done. So I don't always need to upgrade. I don't want to follow that always upgrade path, right? I just want to get my work done and get my stuff out there, right? So that's where I stand on this. There's a lot more detail on this, and I hope you will leave a comment and leave a question and just, you know, mention what's holding you up, what's holding you back. You know, let's have a conversation about what else do you want to see in my Linux setup, of how I get around these type of things. Leave a comment, let me know. That's my point. All right, guys, I don't want to keep ramping on about this, but I'd love to hear some of your ideas of what you want to see. Then I can get specific about things and what I do. Or maybe you're running into problems and I can get specific about how I avoid those problems. Let's talk about it, get a conversation going. And that's all I have for today, guys. Just a quick update on this. It's still going strong. I just want to put it out there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.